What up, Marsh Pod? Recording this Monday, January 23rd. This feels like the August of the NBA offseason where it's a lot of things happening, but we're not quite sure like what's actually happening. I think the time period of major signings is definitely gone. You know what? I take that back. Number one recruit out of the Pacific region, Madison Miles. The third just signed with Queen City Kings after they cut Yanni Brasher. So we're still getting some big names, but there's a lot of cuts, a lot of signings. It can be difficult to keep everything straight. And you're probably thinking, well, great, Marshall's going to keep us straight. No, I'm not. I'm not going to keep you straight because it is a lot to keep an eye on, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend to say I've got it all figured out because I don't. And the simple reason is because I'm actually in the midst of a move. So we are packing up one apartment, bringing stuff over to another. For anyone that has ever moved, you know that it's the worst experience in the world. It's been 3 years since I've had to move, which is pretty lucky. But yeah, we're moving out of our current location because it's far too small and we need a second room. So I have not been able to be as locked in as I would like to be. But I'm not going to leave a Tuesday Marsh Podless. So we're going to run one. And I'll do one SimWorld take or opinion, and then I'm going to get into really what the meat and potatoes of this podcast, or I should say the shrimp and grits of what this podcast really is all about. So where I was wrong, the opinion, Sky Durant was a name that I had mentioned a couple weeks ago in regards to one of the guys that kind of entered the league, started talking big game without ever having done anything. And I'm going to stand by the fact that I still believe that to be the wrong approach. And I'm not pretending that these guys are coming in and listening to what I'm saying, but I have felt as if we've seen a lot less of that, you know. Now, granted, we don't have any games to judge it by, and those joining now are joining at a tough time. But we haven't had so much braggadocious personality lately, which is a good thing, because no one should have their first opinion being, this guy needs to shut up, and I hope somebody does it for us. But Sky Durant has looked really good, and he looked really good during the tournaments. Offensively, I think it was Rydog, I apologize if it wasn't, that did the scouting take on him. I thought it was spot on. I think he's got a legitimate shot to be a really good player. And so I just want to come out and say, for somebody that I'd kind of spoken a little ill about, again, mostly is for his off-the-court approach, but he's proven folks wrong, and I look forward to being proven wrong by many more. But the point of today's podcast is after the Golden State Showdown championship game, in which I was informed about shrimp and grits, I put it on my list of to-dos. Let's expand the palate. I like to think I'm a pretty decent eater of all things, and the one time I had grits at the time was in college during the summer, and I was working at a golf course. I was doing golf course maintenance, so I would be out there at 5 a.m. mowing the lawns, mowing the greens, and it was an exceptionally wet summer, so we were actually quite literally blow-drying grass off of greens after it was cut, but I know that's riveting content. But one morning they had grits. There was a little cafeteria where everybody ate, and the spot that we had, you would go in, breakfast was free, and every subsequent meal, I think, was like $10. You would get lunch. They would serve it. And the food wasn't bad. The food wasn't great either. Breakfast was like pancakes, which were pretty large and in charge and pretty good. But one day they had grits. And I'm like, you know what? Us Northerners, we don't get grits very much. I haven't expanded my palate. Let me give this bad boy a shot. And I think I took 2 bites, and I hated it. It tasted disgusting. And I was like, I'm not eating this again. Anytime somebody says grits are good, I'm going to tell them they're fools because this is garbage. But I've seen grits everywhere, and judging by the reaction from that fateful Saturday 2 weeks ago, I think it was, I decided let's put it on the menu. So, which is great radio, I've cooked up a shrimp and grits meal here. Now, I do welcome any and all recipe recommendations, I quite literally Googled shrimp and grits. The first and highest rated option was from Food Network. 465 ratings, 4.7 stars. And I'll give you the quick recipe so you know what I'm walking into. We've got, obviously, grits, shrimp. We got some butter, some sharp cheddar cheese, bacon, scallions, parsley, and garlic. So a little bit of lemon juice. So I'm gonna pause the recording. I'll tell you. Well, I don't think we need to pause it. We're just gonna roll. We're just rolling it, and then that's gonna be the podcast. I know it's a riveting one for your Tuesday morning. But like I said, we're moving. I don't have a lot of time, so I figured, what better time than mid off season content than shrimp and grits? And my mouth's been watering, so here we go. I don't hate it. It's super cheesy. I put for 1 cup of grits, I put a quarter cup of sharp cheddar cheese in there. The bacon was pre-cooked, so I think I would have benefited from some bacon that was cooked, and then I used the grease from it. But it's fluffy. It's not. I think they messed up that grits that I had 10 years ago, or however long it was, because this does not taste the same. This is I think the cheesy rice, as Rick called it, or creamy rice. Maybe it was Roniel. No, this is good stuff. You know what? I'll retract my shrimp and grits hate. This is I'm all for it. If you guys got recipes on how to do this better, let me know, because I'm sure my white ass did not cook this all that great. So if you've got better options, hit me up. We'll do shrimp and grits once a month recipes. Here we go. All right, see you Thursday.